going to get into the next match of the NA qualifiers. Again, we're trying to find out who's going to enter into league play. With the commentary for this one down on the field, it's going to be Wave Punk and Findable Carpet. Take it away, guys.
Thanks so much, Axel Toss. I'm Wave Punk, joined here by my friend Findable Carpet. And Findable, we get right off the bat here so early in day number 1, the reigning champions defending their title.
We get to watch and see how they perform early on in this. And as James was saying, they haven't performed too well since they took the RLCS championship title for themselves. So going against Take-Two, like we said, Rizzo, who wasn't going to compete, and now he is. I haven't gotten to really see them play together in a while because, like we said, Rizzo did take a break. This is going to be kind of, I don't want to say a little up in the air, but as G2 could easily just turn on and be like, never mind, we're going to start playing like we used to.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride because on one side we do have the defending champions in G2 who have been cooled off a little bit, but at the same time it's easy to maybe, once you win a world championship, maybe just not take things as seriously in the lesser tournaments, you know, the lower level tournaments and stuff. So are they going to heat back up here in RLCS and Take-Two, a squad that we've seen play when they first got together, they were unstoppable. They played so well, and then the honeymoon phase kind of weared off. We know that they have the skill to play together. It's just a matter of whether they can bring it to G2.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes from being able to handle the weight. Like they have to come in here with the weight of knowing they already are the champions, which means they have to now perform at a very certain standard constantly. And every team that goes against them is going to be giving it their all because they know who they're up against. And it's a little frustrating sometimes when everyone you go against is always at your throat, trying their best to take you down because everyone wants to be the ones that take down G2.
Absolutely, yeah. You're not playing to shoot up through the rankings and get to the top. You're playing from the top and having to look down at everyone who's coming up at you. And it's going to be so much fun getting into this match. I cannot wait to see how Take-Two is able to respond to G2 as we get onto the pitch. And oh man, this match is going to be excellent.
It really is. I expect all teams to really come out in full force. I don't think there's going to be much time where people are going to be feeling each other out. I think it's just going to be full-fledged score fest.
It's going to be G2 in the orange with Take-Two in the blue here on DFH Stadium. Neutral kickoff. Hanging out at midfield right now as Over0 is able to send this one the soft touch towards the net. Kronovi goes to finish it, but Rizzo able to interrupt. Lachinio comes in to try and finish it off. This has been a nice offensive from G2 right now, and they keep it going.
G2 is trying to already get some pressure off the bat. We saw Kronovi trying to get a really nice touch over a defender, but just got met by someone from Take-Two.
Zane Jackie to Rizzo, putting it out to midfield in front of the orange box. Responded by Kronovi up into the corner. Instances wins the 50-50 nicely, sending it towards the box. Over0 sets it in front of his own goal, but he's able to keep his car in between the goal and the ball, not let Rizzo's shot go on target.
Crossing your own net is usually a tactical play, but sometimes it can be risky. We saw Rizzo coming up really hard to put pressure on that, and if he hadn't gotten his car, almost a nice air dribble.
Very, very pretty there. Lachinio able to keep it out, but the offensive is still coming through for Take-Two right now. Insolences with a nice backwards play there to set up for Zane Jackie, puts it off the backboard. Insolences keeps it high. Zane gonna drop it down one more time for Rizzo, who comes in to try and finish it off, but Over0 with the clear will push that one away.
With enough pressure, you saw G2 end up having to cave in, and all three of them, I think, ended up going for the final touch. They kept putting it on that backboard enough to force G2 into a risky situation, almost a shot from
Excellent
Take-Two.
shot. Excellent shot there from Insolences, blocked away by Lachinio. That G2 defense that came up so clutch in the finals, showing up strong here again in the qualifiers for Season 2. Lachinio playing this one up. 3:27 left to go in the game. A minute and a half gone, and we're still scoreless. Kronovi shooting towards the goal. Rizzo blocks it. Zane pops it out back to midfield. Over0's there and put it over to the side. It's nice back and forth between these players. Lachinio and Over0 kind of get tangled up on top of each other, but Kronovi is there to clear it into the blue.
Good hard clears from Take-Two. I saw what looked like Zane might have given it up, but he actually put on a good placement. They're trying to put it behind G2 players, knowing they're mechanically sound. They're going to get really good counter clears. So you notice that a lot of these teams are trying to place it to the corners so that any first initial touch from the opposing team isn't necessarily going to be a direct clear towards their net.
Very defensive game so far in game number 1. Over0 pops that one out to Kronovi. Gets into the corner. Over0 hangs back, lets Kronovi, actually all of G2 just kind of bails on that offensive and lets Take-Two take it. Push it back into the orange. Lachinio able to block it. Rizzo comes in with a shot, but Lachinio's there again. Now Over0 moving up. Insolences gets it over. Rizzo puts it onto the wall, trying to set something up for Insolences here. So it pops down in front of the box. Over0 clears it away. Now Lachinio, let's see if G2 can manage an offensive this time. All three players whiffing on that ball. Or actually, Kronovi was out in the midfield. He hasn't had an opportunity yet. He was waiting for a touch from a teammate. He still hangs there, still lurking, watching, waiting for this one to cross, but it's not going to happen.
This game has been kind of uncharacteristically slow for both teams. They're not really making any risky commitments, which I don't expect them to make. I know, like I said, G2 has a lot of weight on their shoulders right now. They need to try and make sure they make it into group stages right now. But,
two players went up. Rizzo was able to take the shot, and that's the first point on the board there for Take-Two.
Rizzo took a shot from the corner. A lot of times when players take shots from here, they're not totally expected to be as powerful and on target. Someone from G2 did try and meet him out there and trying to get in the way of the shot, but he wasn't in time, and no one sitting in net was able to block that.
First goal happening at 1:52. That leaves just under 2 minutes for G2 to respond here. Rizzo bumps Zane Jackie back into the ball. Push that one across the line, but a nice response from Lachinio puts it back into the blue. Very few shots so far for G2. They have an opportunity as Overzero sends this one into the top corner. An excellent shot placement in a tie game.
This placement was actually pretty insane. Overzero, go to redirect this. It got passed by Kronovi. He noticed both Latch and Overzero, which actually could have been risky. They were both cheating up. Kronovi was actually last man on defense, but Overzero putting that perfectly into the corner ended up giving them the tying goal.
An excellent shot placement. It was a tie game just as Take-Two took the lead. G2 responds. Kronovi now up on the offensive, draws out two. Lachinio's up to try and drop it on the backboard. Tried to finish his own shot, but interrupted by Jane Jackie. Now Overzero in the corner. Watching this one. He's gonna take the boost, fall back, let Kronovi intercept. Now it's with Rizzo. As he sets this one up for Insolences. Overzero tries to get an interrupt, puts it over to the side. It's gonna be Lachinio in the back now to try and clear it around. Take-Two slowly, methodically pushing this one down the field. They've got it in the corners. It's going to cross in front of the goal. Overzero is there to get the clear. 1 minute remaining, still tie game.
Take-Two should be a little bit careful. We did just see two of them go up for that shot opportunity that happened about 10 seconds ago. Could have been risky if there was a good counterattack from G2, but you're not able to keep the pressure once two people go for the same shot and it doesn't go in.
45 seconds remaining, tie game. Overzero onto the wall. Rizzo able to get in between the ball and the wall and put it into the corner. Insolences keeps it there. Kronovi picks this one up, waits out Insolences, gets it around one, but Zane Jackie tackles him, puts it back into the box. Rizzo drops his one on target, and there's the lead for Take-Two.
Rizzo getting up quick for this, and the placement on this shot was also very impressive. He gets up early for this. He gets to the right-hand side of the ball, then drops it down into the top of the net. Lachinio was actually sitting waiting for it, probably not expecting such a powerful touch from Rizzo, but he wasn't able to react quick enough, and Rizzo sinks it in.
And the speed with which Rizzo attacked did not give Lachinio all the time to get back out in front of the goal. He kind of rotated very wide into the back of the goal as he wasn't able to get up and into that one. That gives a 1 point lead here to Take-Two in game number one. 19 seconds for G2 to respond. Rizzo and Zane Jackie very deep in enemy territory, dropping another one towards the net, cleared by Kronovi. They're keeping the hopes alive. 10 seconds remaining as Overzero watches this one on the wall, patiently plays it over the top of Rizzo. Kronovi's up, cannot get the touch. That leaves it with Rizzo in the corner right now. Final second, he's just going to play it out. He's going to let this one touch, and there is going to be game number one going to Take-Two.
Take-Two coming out very strong, taking a game off of G2. Right off the bat, they've already opened up strong against the reigning RLCS champions. And we just saw the last second their Insolences with a mind-melding shot. He went up underneath the ball, backwards, dropped it down to the top post of the net, forcing a G2 player to get there. I think G2 might be a little surprised by the kind of power that Take-Two is coming in. These two names.
Yeah, Take-Two and G2. They're very, very similar to each other there.
Thanks, guys.
I will say Take-Two's team plays have been excellent. They have been making high use of that backboard, forcing G2 here to make, man, I knew it was going to happen, forcing them to play very strong defense, and it held up very well. You can see very low-scoring game on both sides of the ball, and the only goal coming in on the side of G2 was that insane touch from Overzero to put it up into that top corner, and the goalie just wasn't even expecting it.
Yeah, and G2's the kind of team that putting pressure on is how you shut them down. If you force them into defense, cut their rotations off, and don't let them do plays like they did between Kronovi to Overzero, when you start cutting those short or just putting them on defense, they're not going to be able to have the boost and the speed to always put a lot of shots on goal, and Take-Two actually took advantage of that quite often that game. But to be fair, both teams played a little bit slower than I expected.
Yeah, it was very interesting. There was a number of instances when we saw G2 up on the offense and then just turning around. Maybe they didn't feel like they had boost, maybe they didn't feel like they had positioning, maybe they saw the positioning on Take-Two's side and respected it and just fell back and let them push back out. But it wasn't the typical aggression I'm used to seeing from this G2 squad. We'll see how they respond in game number two as we get underway. Kickoff going to go slightly in favor of Take-Two here. So able to push this one up into the corner. Zane puts it off the backboard immediately. Insolences is up on the backboard again. Rizzo for the third in rotation does not get the shot towards the net. That leaves Overzero to pop it out. Ian Lachinio going to pinch this one. to the far blue corner. Lichinio up to try and set this one up for a teammate. But Rizzo is there, sends it straight back into the orange.
It's just taking a little too long for people to challenge certain balls. We just saw G2 gain control in Take-Two's half. Somebody popped it up towards the net, and then no one was there to really meet it. They're not predicting each other's touches very quickly.
Zanejaki with a nice lofter right at the middle of the field, went a bit high, and Lichinio with the Spider-Man clear to the side. He's able to push that one out, transition this one nicely, sets this one off the backboard to the side. Rizzo there, over 0, shot towards the net, cleared by Zane. Now Take-Two back up on offense. Zanejaki pushes it around the corner. Giving G2 lots of time to get set up on defense here. They're able to clear these ones easily. So Rizzo pops it up. Lichinio set in net as Zanejaki tries to set this one up. Rizzo's up for the shot, drops it just wide of the goal. Lichinio rotates out. The touch from over 0 actually blocks the clear from Lichinio, and that's going to keep the offensive going here for Take-Two.
Take-Two is keeping a lot of these. They're not utilizing the back wall, which is actually pretty smart because G2's the kind of team that can take it off that back wall very quickly. They're just skilled at kind of predicting that. So they're actually lobbing a lot of these up in front and taking the second shot in front of the net with good placements. Rizzo almost had a really good corner placement shot.
Over 0's touch there over the top of Insolence's was very stylish and very effective too. He's got the ball control right there in front of the box. Kronovi comes in to try and send it towards the net, but Zanejaki able to read it, clear it, and transition it back onto offense. He's carrying it towards the goal, towards the far side. 3 players have to touch it from G2 to keep this one out. And now Kronovi with the counter play, trying to immediately turn this one into a goal. Insolence is able to pick it up in the corner and push it right back and forth. These teams are starting to heat up.
We see Take-Two just kind of showing off their skill. We just saw a nice air dribble from Insolences, as you said, forcing all of G2 to go up for it. Ooh, almost, again, very uncharacteristic plays. It did result in a goal.
Look at the play. Look at the way he draws the goalies out, and then Zanejaki is there to shoot.
Rizzo did wait patiently. He actually baited that first touch, forcing a G2 player up. Another waiting on the ground, expecting yet another shot, but instead Rizzo taps it towards the middle for another player. Very selfless play, but it worked out in his favor.
Amazing play there. G2 down again as Take-Two has taken first blood in both games. 2:44 left to go. 1-0 lead here for Take-Two. G2 looking to respond as they try to push this one out. Rizzo keeps this offensive on, puts it on the backboard. 3 touches from Rizzo. The solo play is amazing. 2-0 Take-Two.
Rizzo coming out so strong. This second touch, he touches it off the corner, then back wall, gets up so fast, gets their front flip and beats all G2 defenders. They're now 2 up in the second game against the reigning RLCS defenders. This is insane.
Rizzo, the player that had retired and then came back out, deciding to play, coming up so strong in game number 2. First the setup and then the solo play. He's got his team up by 2. Here comes G2 trying to respond. They're able to find the top par there. Lichinio responds quickly.
These are the quick responses that I'm used to seeing G2 out of. Kronovi gets that down above the net. Lichinio reads it perfectly. Just off that bounce on the ground. Still gets the power shot even, just in case someone could have gotten in the way.
And a beautiful pass from Kronovi. Lichinio knew right where it was going to be, able to put that one in. And G2 responds. It's a 1-point game, 2:22 left to go. Rizzo puts this one into G2 corner. Over 0 and Kronovi, both on the wall, kind of confused on who should go for it. And that's actually going to leave it to Insolences, who puts it back in the orange corner. He's got a nice setup here. Over 0 and goal, pops it high, but Zanejaki responds onto the backboard. He's going to try and pop it down for Insolences. What a pass there, blocked away by Lichinio, but Rizzo comes in, still cleared by Over 0. Excellent plays there on both sides of the ball.
Take-Two really just shining right now, especially mechanically. Zanejaki floating to get that second touch, and you just see his team is really well supporting him. They're there for the shots, and they're there to put G2 on the back foot.
Lichinio able to get that one over Zanejaki and Rizzo. It's just Insolences back in goal. He's able to get that one around on the missed touch from Kronovi. Zanejaki now trying to get up into this one. Insolences gets it past Lichinio and into the corner. No one at home right now on defense for G2. They're very aggressively positioned. Being down by 1, to start to play more offensively. Lichinio tries to push this one around. Over 0's there, picks it up. He's going to dribble this one up midfield, but tackled by Zanejaki. This offensive pressure coming through for Take-Two. Very, very impressive.
There needs to be careful about taking it too slow. He wanted to dribble it out, but right now Take-Two being in the lead and having most control of this game is going to be contesting that.
Lichinio over 0, passing in the air. A demo onto Kronovi, who was the back line for G2. He spawns in an awkward place. Insolence's shot does not go in. That was a close one there. As G2 continues to just try and keep this out of their goal. They need one more So we are within 45 seconds of the end of the game, and they are still down by 1. No one at home on defense as Overzero's able to take a shot, and that's a tie game.
Tying it up, G2 trying to make sure they're not one game away from being knocked into the lower bracket, but that goalie demo left it wide open for Overzero after it got popped out of the corner. G2 trying to bring that pressure up. Hopefully they're going to be able to continue it through the rest of this game.
41 seconds, tie game. Game number 2. G2 looking for their first win in the series, looking to tie the series up here. It's Overzero. So over the top, Rizzo's able to send that one. Kronovi with a nice touch to clear away the finisher from Insolences. Now Kronovi watching. Zanejacki puts it on the backboard. Rizzo is up. He's going to try and drop it around. He draws up 2 defenders, but Kronovi immediately responds, gets it onto the backboard. Can anyone finish? Lachinio is in the air, but got there first was Rizzo. Able to clear it to the side. 15 seconds remaining, still tie game. Zanejacki now on the wall. Pops it out to middle where Rizzo is there. Lachinio dunks on him, sends it to the far corner, and that's the lead for G2.
Insolences thought he had a little bit more time. He went to the corner for boost to try and continue with this play, knowing it was towards the end of the game. Zanejacki popped it out for Rizzo, but Lachinio read it just a little bit too early. Perfect placement at the bottom right corner, making it the hardest goal for Insolences to save.
And with 8 seconds, G2 has their first lead of the series. Just hold on for 5 more seconds. They will be able to take game number 2, tie the series up. Overzero, he's just going to go for one more just to make it pretty. Get
No,
a buzzer
he's not.
beater.
Kronovi is.
Put a nail in the coffin in the steal coming in for Kronovi.
Yeah, this last one was a little bit of a consolation goal. Take-Two had no choice. They had to overcommit for that last shot. I mean, you're 1 goal down with 0 seconds left. There's not much you can do. So, in my eyes, this game ended 2-3, but G2 putting themselves in a scary position. They were down for almost to the last minute of the game. They were able to tie it up and get those last 2 goals. So, G2, I mean, they were able to bounce back a little bit in the second half, but still uncharacteristically slow for some of that game. And Take-Two has been just showing off their mechanics a lot.
Yeah, no, the G2 having to play very defensively in both of these games, really trapped in their own half. The offensive pressure from Take-Two has been incredible, and we did see G2 find holes in the rotations and able to drive it up the field and get goals and take the win here in game number 2. But my goodness, this series is very close.
And yet, more demos coming out resulting in more goals. We've seen a lot of that so far coming out of North America. They're usually not characteristically known for demos. It's usually kind of the thing that we say EU players are usually a lot more. They're a lot more physical. They get a lot more bumps. But so far, we've seen a lot of good demos and well-timed demos, because for those who don't know, like when you hit a car hard enough, they'll explode. We call it a demolition, but it puts you out of position because you have to, instead of retreating back and supporting your team, you're going for somebody else. So if they manage to dodge you or you miss, you now ripped yourself out of the game, and they have a full squad that's going to be ready to just counterattack you.
Yeah, not only does it pull you out of position, but just getting the demo itself is maybe one of the harder things to do in the game, because it's like hitting the ball, but the ball is trying to dodge you. You know, very, very difficult situation. And it takes a high level of precision for these players to accurately and consistently hit enemy cars and create the space to create the shots that they're able to make here.
Yeah, if that aggression continues through, it could be a lot of how people can, or one of these teams continues their momentum. But overall, I mean, I'm really impressed what Take-Two's been giving. Not to take anything away from G2 either, but Take-Two has just, they've a lot of mechanically very sound plays. Zanejacki with a couple of really nice double touches. Rizzo with just some good slow dribbles, trying to read the opponents very well.
Take-Two took game number 1. G2 took game number 2. Game number 3, it's all tied up. Anybody's series still, as G2 is up on the offense. Insolence is trying to push that one around. Lachinio's up high to put this one onto the backboard. He's going to follow his own touch and try to drop it in, but it's a bit wide. Zanejacki watches this one, waiting for the rotations, and my goodness, the aggression coming out from G2 right now, very strong. They're keeping this offensive going. G2
seems to be turning on a lot more this game already with 40 seconds.
Oh, no, and there was a bit of an overcommitment there, but Rizzo can find it over the top. 1-0 for Take-Two.
This is the risky part of it, being a little bit too aggressive. And then the recovery from Rizzo is able to get up quick for this, just beating out Overzero for that defensive touch.
Amazing touch there from Rizzo, showing up so strongly in this series for Take-Two. First goal on the board, coming at 4:20. Now Rizzo going to blaze another one towards the goal, cleared away there by Overzero. He's going to try and push this one into enemy territory. So just no one really touched that ball there, just kind of lofted in the middle for a bit. Now Kronovi going to be falling back as Rizzo gets another one around the corner. Overzero is there, pushes it around. Zanejacki keeps the pressure on, and here comes that pressure again from Take-Two. Lachinio up on the wall. Actually, we just see Insolences back off there and let Lachinio push that one into the corner. Overzero off the back wall, so Lachinio rotates out. Kronovi moves up. and try and push this one around. Back and forth between these teams right now.
Yeah, you mentioned Zanjaki backing off, which in that instance was actually a pretty good idea. He knew that one of his players was trying to rotate back in the net, but he actually waited for Luchino to make a hit and had a much better opportunity trying to read that hit than trying to actually beat him to the ball.
Over 0, dropping a slow one towards the net. Rizzo clears it away, keeping it a 1-0 game. 3:28 left to go. Zanjaki now up the field. Kronovi to the side. He follows this one on the wall. Pops it out for Over 0, who tries to pop it back over to Kronovi. Insolences, intercepts it, puts it back up to midfield, and here comes take 2 on the offense. A nice touch from Lachinio. Another demo coming in from Kronovi onto Rizzo to try and buy some space. He's going to be able to push this one away from his own half, but the end of the offensive pressure at that midfield line comes through from take 2 again.
Yeah, take 2 is, they're kind of bailing, I don't want to say bailing, but they're backing off on balls that are very smart plays. They're actually waiting for a lot of the touches, trying to meet him at midfield, and Rizzo going to try and drop that down. Almost a really good opportunity for take 2.
And they've really, they threw off the defensive rotation, but the shot did not come in to finish it. They're keeping this pressure on. Rizzo's there. He's just got to beat out Lachinio. Lachinio reads it well. Zanjaki puts it up high. Over 0 follows it. Throws a bit of freestyle in there, and Rizzo sends this one towards the net, just high of the goal. Insolences keeps the pressure on. Rizzo's watching as Kronovi pops it down straight in front of the box. Over 0 realizes he needs to respond. He and Kronovi tangled up on top of each other. Zanjaki's able to get it over the top of 2. Luckily, Lachinio, though, very well positioned, able to send that one back into blue corner.
That shot we just saw from Rizzo, we've seen nothing but just insane touches from Rizzo all day today.
Oh, wow. 2 people in goal, and Insolences still finds a way in.
Insolences took this shot to just kind of force someone in the net. He saw no one was there, so he would force both Kronovi and Over 0 to get there. But I don't know, it looked like Kronovi might have backed off a little bit thinking Over 0 had that touch. They were both in position to take that, but neither jumped up quick enough. And Insolences probably knew when he was taking it that probably wasn't going to make it in, but I'm sure he's pretty happy it did.
Yeah, very, very rough situation there for G2 as a 2-0 lead comes out for take 2. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 2 players in the corner right now for G2 as they push this one out. A nice setup there. Over 0 goes up, but Insolences gets over the top. Got to the ball first, and that leaves it with Rizzo in the corner. Interference from Kronovi, pops it back to midfield, but Zanjaki is there getting the dunk, and it's 3-0.
Catching G2 off guard when no one is in net. Kronovi, instead of going to net, tried to get that out, but a pinch, unfortunately, directly into the corner. Nobody replaced him in net. We saw someone try to contest it, but Zanjaki beat him pretty handily. Right now, take 2, 3 points over G2. The reigning champions right now, they're about to be 1 game away from being knocked into the lowest bracket.
This has been an amazing showing from take 2. G2 has been playing a strong game, but just have not been able to respond to this offensive pressure. 3 players there committing. You can see that they're starting to doubt each other as well. Now with the pass plays, moving up on offense, this is something G2 is known for. But 2 players miss in the corner. That leaves it with Insolences. Kronovi has to hightail back. He's able to get in the way of that one, just put it away from the goal, so Insolences couldn't make it 4-0. And here comes G2. Lachinio pops it high. Kronovi gets bumped by Insolences. Excellent play by Insolences there, because Kronovi had an excellent shot lined up.
It might have been a better shot opportunity if Lachinio had just taken it. It looked like Rizzo wasn't actually going to be able to, he would have had to just flail and hopefully predict.
Right.
Lachinio's shot, but it looks like he had a little too underneath the ball and popped it up high instead. But that bump from Insol, as you said, on Kronovi, very smart thinking.
1 minute remaining. G2 looking for 3. Zanjaki sends another one onto net. The pressure, the onslaught of shots coming through from take 2. Again and again, they pressure these guys in the net. They've shot 10 times so far at the G2 net. With 40 seconds remaining, every second that ticks by makes it less and less likely G2 can possibly come back into this one or even just force an overtime. Lachinio now up to Over 0. Sends a shot towards the net. He's getting another touch that puts it actually just wide of the goal. Rizzo was there either way. But with 25 seconds remaining, this one's looking grim for G2.
Not looking good for them at all. 3 goals in 20 seconds. They're not getting too creative with their shots. They're taking a lot of shots that Take Two hasn't had a lot of trouble getting. They're just kind of on the net, a couple of really soft shots. That's not really forcing them into scary positions. They're just tapping it off to the corner, being ready. Oh,
nice save there by Lachinio, keeping that one away, keeping it from being a 4-0 game. But at this point, the game is over. 3-0 going to Take Two here. They're going to lead in the series by a game, and they've got G2 on match point.
G2 has to be feeling the pressure right now. I am very surprised to see them let this game get so far ahead of them. That was 3 points Take Two just took them out by. And none of those were really consolation goals. Those were all like legitimate, them outplaying G2 or beating them into certain positions. We saw that unfortunate goal from Insol where he kind of took the shot to force somebody in the net and actually ended up going in, which gave them that second goal, gave them the nice padding initially. But right now, G2 looking down the barrel. They're one game away from being knocked down into lower bracket if Take-Two can take this next game.
That is not a sentence I thought I was going to hear today.
No.
That the G2 was going to be one game away from dropping into the lower bracket. Take-Two has shown up very, very well, and I've so enjoyed watching the team plays and the way that they have trusted each other. We talked a number of times about them looking at the situation and realizing we shouldn't press this. Let's just fall back to the midline and let's look for a clear to put it back into the corner and reset the situation, and let's just do that over and over again until we see the defense isn't in the position we want and we can put it in. These guys are playing very well.
And why that's working is G2, when they're given space, they're just kind of throwing it away. They'll just toss it into the corner. No one's really there to follow it up. They're not doing it with something in mind. A lot of times, if you're going to slam it up into their backboard or slam it into the corner, do it because you know there's a purpose. Do it because you know there's a player that's going to follow that up and take that shot or force a defender to come out. But they don't always have someone to follow up. Sometimes they're just flinging it back there, hoping someone gets there in time.
Right.
And Take-Two, their patience is paying off.
They are playing so methodically right now, and it has them with a one-game lead and a match point here. If they take this one, they qualify for RLCS Season 2 group stages, and G2 will have another match to play to qualify. Kronovi now moving this one up, gets the solo plays over. Rizzo carries it to the corner. Zane Jackie is there. Kronovi's solo play doesn't quite finish it off here. And there's a nice shot by Rizzo. This happened last game too. The overcommitment from G2 gets immediately punished by Rizzo.
This can't be happening. We just saw an incredible solo play from Kronovi, but instead of rotating back, he tries to body that while Overzero comes in. That ball was actually pretty handily gonna go to Take-Two.
Yeah.
Both of them went up to contest it instead while they had Lachinio in the corner, which left that ball wide open. And Take-Two starts off with the lead yet again.
And Rizzo with the presence of mind to know exactly where the G2 players are and realize, hey, this is an easy free shot. Let's just send this straight down the middle of the field. Zane Jackie trying to finish another one off, but Kronovi clearing it away, keeping this score from increasing in favor of Take-Two. Now Lachinio sending one towards the net is just wide. Can he finish it off? He gets another touch on the backboard. Overzero sends a shot to the net, but Insolences blocks it away. 4:19 left to go. Still 1 point game for Take-Two.
G2 now knowing they're playing catch-up. They're already down by they're already down by a goal in the final game for them if they lose. They're already playing catch-up, so now they need to take advantage and take the opportunities that they're given to them. They don't want to force too much or they're going to concede another goal, just like now Lachinio getting up too late for that, and he got beat out by Take-Two.
And the amazing play by Rizzo, watching this one patiently, sees Lachinio going up and just gets up just a moment before, puts it over the top of the defender, and it rolls in.
He puts his car sideways even just to make sure he gets up just underneath it. Yeah. He didn't want to front flip into it, or it would have been too powerful. He takes the lob over Lachinio, who is usually very quick to the ball. I do not know what's happening right now with G2.
Lachinio sends one on to net. Insolences puts it over the side, and the Overzero is there. An excellent play, a kind of a sloppy clear there on the side of Take-Two, and that's going to be Overzero to punish.
This is what they need. You saw Insolences actually ripping that away from Rizzo. He had a really hard clear. Communication could have been key there, but this is what G2, they need to take advantage of every single mistake they get. They have 4 minutes left to tie this game up.
Absolutely, and they're only down by 1. Plenty of time to come back into this one and force a game 5. Rizzo taking a shot towards the net. Overzero clears it away, putting it back into the corner. He and Lachinio following this one very much on top of each other, but they're able to get it onto the backboard. Now Lachinio watches this one. Zane Jackie clears it. Kronovi now over the top of Zane. Overzero to try and follow it. They've got it back onto the backboard again. Nice play there by Overzero, who's very low on boost at the moment. But no one was there to finish off his pass in the middle of the field, and Zane Jackie's got it back in a dangerous spot for G2.
Seems to have slowed down, but Take-Two wants to play smart. They know they're a game up, and they're 1 game away from qualifying into group stages, so they're not going to try and overcommit, but a whiff like that could spell trouble if someone can test it.
Nice loft by Insolences. Zane Jackie with the insane touch to drop it back down. Nobody there to finish. Insolences was trying to come in. Some nice touches from G2 cleared it away, actually. But Rizzo now keeps this pressure on. That offensive pressure, a nice shot placement by Zane Jackie that just doesn't quite go in. Kronovi now watching this one. Zane demos him. The pressure continues for Take-Two.
We just see so many more opportunities that they're forming from their plays. They're getting a lot more creative with it, putting it in front of the net.
Ooh, Lachinio over the top of Rizzo, gets revenge on the goal number 2 and ties it up.
Yeah, he beats Rizzo just to this almost the same style situation. He waits patiently for the ball to come down. Rizzo, I don't know if he knew Lachinio was there until he started to go up for it. The ball cam kind of takes you away from it. I don't even know if Lachinio knew Rizzo was coming.
Yeah, maybe not.
Curious to know if he had ball cam on or not. But yeah, Lachinio getting up just in time, beating out Rizzo, tying the game up. G2 still has a chance.
They are very much alive and well in this game right here at halftime. So we are all tied up at 2-2. Kronovi puts it down in the corner. Lachinio waits in goal for G2. The 50-50s going mostly in favor of Take-Two at the moment. Now Over0 is set up in net. Lachinio had rotated out. He's going to actually go up for the Spider-Man clear and push it off. Kronovi and Lachinio both in net. Dangerous situation, but Lachinio gets the clear. It's a situation that could have easily had an overcommitment in. Kronovi reads that one very well in the air, but this pressure from Take-Two, they're so good at keeping the ball in G2's half.
They're very, almost. Rizzo trying to get that 50 into the net. But like you said, Take-Two is waiting for the balls they know they're going to get. They're not going for risky things. I saw a chance where Rizzo actually, most players I know probably would have gone up for redirect, but he noticed he was going to actually lose. He wasn't going to make it there in time. So he stole their boost instead, rotated back, and they seem to be thinking a lot more.
Over0 trying to push this one up to midfield. Lachinio puts it over to the side and then picks up his own touch. Actually whiffs that touch. It leaves it with just Kronovi in the back. Zane easily gets it around him. It's now up to Over0 in the back. He doesn't get up in time, and Zane Jackie takes the lead back for Take-Two.
This one-on-one situation, Over0 just getting in the net. We would have had to contest that as soon as Zane Jackie did that first pop, but he was too far to do so. So all he could do is try and read Zane Jackie's touch, but Zane Jackie had his eye on Over0 the whole time. I was actually on his cam. He knew exactly where Over0 was. He's like, I'm just going to put it too high for him. He waited for that bounce and popped it up over him.
Yeah, definitely a striker's situation where he can do whatever he wants with that. It's the goalie just kind of has to put himself in the most likely situation of where the ball is going to go. So Zane Jackie plays it so well and takes the lead back for Take-Two. And with 1:13 left, it's back on the back heels again for G2. They've been here a lot this series. They're pushing this one up. Kronovi and Lachinio very much in the same space on the field. Rizzo tries to push this one around. Zane able to get that one over too. Over0's got to get in the way of this one. He's able to tackle it in the corner, buy his teammates time to rotate back, but you can see just how far aggressively Kronovi was pushed. Even with the interference, he still was just now getting back onto the defense. Insolences clears this one away from his own goal. Rizzo gets a nice touch to put it over the top of Kronovi, and that leaves Lachinio. Has to get back into goal in time. He is able to run the interference with Insolences and put it over the top of the goal. It's up to Rizzo in the corner. He's going to leave that one as Over0 pushes this one up. Zane misses on the touch. Luckily, Insolences was right behind him, but another nice shot there from Lachinio, and he ties the game again.
Zane has to be beating himself up. He goes up for this, has all the time in the world, but just misses it, making Insol have to do a quick reaction touch, not able to clear it enough. Rizzo trying to follow back, but contested by Lachinio, who reads the misplay very well, pops it in a net and tying the game up. G2 just barely staying alive.
They're hanging on just barely. A nice shot from Kronovi. Insolences clears away. They've been down twice and then tied it back up with 22 seconds left. We might see another overtime, but Take-Two trying to finish it immediately. They're up and very aggressively positioned. Insolences to Rizzo. Nice passing. It drops down in front of the box. Over0's there. Zane gets it over the top of Lachinio. Final 10 seconds. Over0 doesn't know what to do as Insolences shoots. Puts it down in front of the box. Kronovi playing this one backwards, just trying to keep it away from the goal. They're playing for overtime, but then Over0 over the top. Tries to carry it. Is going to touch the ground in overtime in game number 4.
That play from Insolence is almost getting that touch over, and then Kronovi just keeping his car between the ball and the goal. He may have been backing up slowly, but all he had to do was only a few seconds left, just stop any shots from coming on.
Kronovi able to pinch that one all the way back down to his own half. Now it moves back onto the backboard. He comes in to finish. Lachinio could not finish it through Rizzo, who has it up on the wall. Over0, nice play. Keeps it in the blue, but Zane easily gets it over the top of him. Back up into the corner. 26 seconds in. Insolence is going to try and take a shot, but it goes wide. Over0, Kronovi and Lachinio moving up as a unit. Up into the corner. Kronovi going to try and set this one back out to midfield. Zane Jackie's there before any G2 player came in to take a shot. Oh no, Over0 got bumped by Kronovi. Insolences takes a shot. Does it drop in? It does, and that's the series.
That's it.
That's it.
Take-Two just took G2 and put them into the lower bracket. These team names might be the death knee, but this is actually insane. On a long clear of all things, the thing that G2, we always talk about G2, how they overcommit just a little too much, but it was an unfortunate team bump. And Take-Two qualifies. Congratulations to them. They are in the group stages. And now G2 has one more game to hopefully win.
Yeah, they're going to have to play in the lower bracket.
Reigning champions. And
My
they just
goodness.
got taken down by Take-Two. What an impressive feat by them. All those players came out so strong. Rizzo, some incredible mechanical plays from them. And G2 just a little slower than usual.
Yeah, and just, man, finding the mistakes on G2's side. You saw it there at the very end. Insolences saw the bump of Kronovi and Over0. That's 2 players committed up in their own half. And now he's got this, takes a long shot down the middle of the field, and there you go. Series done. And my goodness, Take-Two playing so well, moving on to the group stages of RLCS. We'll see G2 later again today, but right now it's all about Take-Two. We're going to pass it back over to the analyst desk. Axel Toss, tell us what you guys saw.
Thank you, Wave Punk and Final Carpet. Oh my gosh, what a match. Did you guys think the world champions would be knocked down to the lower bracket this early?
Based on predictions, no. But there was signs showing that they were kind of on that lower end. So Take-Two had a chance to win it. It was G2's game and series to lose. And Take-Two took full advantage of it. Like, shout outs to Rizzo. Guy played out of his mind that entire series.
And G2 has been struggling online recently. And I was concerned that they might not get up. But I put faith in them to on this big stage, be clutch, just like they were at the LAN. But they lost. But there's still a chance. They have one more opportunity to make it in. But yeah, congrats to Take-Two.
Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance replay from that match. And I got to agree with you, Lawler. I felt like Rizzo was all over. It's going to be all over these highlights. Yeah,
you see him, like, even there, he got beat out by over 0, but then they immediately come back, like the pressure here from Rizzo. He has an outplay, takes it past one, and then immediately recovers and gets another one over the top, over all 3 players on this defense.
Multiple solo goals. You see that one, he even cut the bump on over 0, but just playing to himself. Rizzo was the MVP for Take-Two.
Despite that, though, ball getting played inside, Latch gets a clear out, and then Insel has a goal. There was 2 people on defense in this. I don't know. A beautiful pass from Zane Jackie, but then a shot on net. That should have been saved, and that could have been G2's chance to come back in it, but for some reason, it snuck in.
Yeah, and then that one there, the block. Kronovi going for the air dribble, and then Lachinio trying to get that ball out into the middle, and when you send your last player back, over 0 was the last one back, and he got beat. Rizzo punishing him on that long-range goal.
Yeah, shots coming in back and forth. Insel with another big clear, all because of that team bump. He got bumped in the way. Just something communication-wise was breaking down for this team, whether it be something frustrating going on, but there was an X factor that played a proponent with his team, and just that initial bump, but still good awareness by Take-Two to take that and have a long clear for that shot. Closing it out, they made it.
Yeah, super impressive play. And in watching this, obviously, G2 Esports, the defending world champions, that's huge. Take-Two coming in here. Is this more a testament to just how good this Take-Two team is, or is this more a little bit of floundering from G2 Esports?
Well, Take-Two, they were formerly known as Mocket NA, and if you remember from Season 1, they were just 1 game away from making it to the LAN, but with it was like a 4-way tiebreaker. It ended up being Genesis over Mocket NA. These guys are incredibly talented. So I am not surprised to see them take it here, but I do expect G2 to make it in the lower bracket. But Take-Two, these guys, they deserve to be here. And I'm not really surprised that they were able to pull this off.
No, Take-Two's a phenomenal team. We saw what they were capable of. Rizzo playing out of his mind and the rest of his teammates following that up. Just G2 is starting to kind of fluctuate a little bit, but they have a chance easily to make it back in. They just have to clean up their mistakes and take advantage of the opportunity that's coming their way. I mean,
hail Rizzo, right?
Rizzo, he's so good. Like, he played so well.
He scored so many goals, and he was the X factor for Take-Two, just making plays happen, scoring goals. A lot of times doing it by himself, but you got to give props to Rizzo. He played out of his mind.
Again, we can make a whole highlight reel, and we probably did, from all of Rizzo's play in that game. And something in particular that I kind of noticed was just his ability to actively, competently continue after the ball, right? Most of his goals, most of his really big plays, sure, he got a great first touch, but then zoom, he sticks on it, stays on it, and all of a sudden he gets that next touch, and that pulls that into forward momentum.
Right. And there was a couple times where, like, Insolus has had wide open nets that just, they could have clutched it a little bit earlier, but Rizzo was there. Like, he played with 0 hesitation, and that's something that's very tough to do, is when you have your teammates that you trust behind you to just go in. He even stayed up on their side of offense a couple times instead of rotating back, just because he had that much faith. Very risky, but it paid off.
And the one game that G2 did win, you said it, Insolence has had a wide open net, and it was off the backboard, so it is a difficult play to make, but a lot of times players at this level will make it, and he missed it. And then with 8 seconds left, Lachinio was able to tie that up. No, it was over 0 with 41 seconds left, and then Latch with the go-ahead goal at 8 seconds. So Take-Two very nearly just 3-0 G2. They were the better team, and Take-Two, they're moving on into league play.
Advancing on to league play to join Kings of Urban, of course, today is all about finding out which teams are going to be advancing to league play. This is the North American qualifiers for the Rocket League Championship Series Season 2. The next match is going to be Deception versus Exodus. Stay tuned.